Hello friends, and welcome to this yin practice for the upper body. I'm going to be leading you through some of my favorite stretches to keep my upper body in good shape. I do tend to accumulate a lot of upper body tension in my shoulders, my neck, because I tend to do a lot of computer work, and I know that a lot of us do. We're on our devices, we're at desks, and so these are the things that I use to do kind of my daily maintenance. You will need a couple of blocks. I find that blocks are really important for a couple of the things that I like to do. We'll start in Seiza pose. Sit on your heels, or you can use one of your blocks or even two of your blocks. So starting with some rounding of the spine, chin toward the chest. Inhale your breath here, like you're breathing into your upper back. And exhale with a lion's breath. Let your eyeballs come up, your tongue comes out. And inhaling again into the back. And exhaling. And one more time. Great, and now coming into your Seiza pose and letting your head bend over to the right for this pose called the graceful bow. Now you can let your hands rest in your lap. You could let this left hand hang or dangle. You could let this hand come behind the back. See what feels good as you focus on the sensation that you're feeling in the left side of your neck. You might choose to take this other hand, the right hand, onto the floor for a little bit of support, either on the fingertips or down on the palm. And you can sort of play around while you're here with your angles. Maybe the face angles up slightly, or maybe it angles down, and maybe your skull comes back in space a little bit more. See where your tension is and what exact angles give you the stretch that you want today. Maybe even a slightly downward angle of the chin if you have more tension in the back of your neck. And now we'll take a second part of this by taking the left hand behind the back and then start to just inch the hand up the back. And you can again keep your head resting over to the side like you had it, maybe with the arm support or maybe not. And this is going to help you to get more stretch into the front of the shoulder as well as the neck. If you're familiar with the cow face pose arms, you are welcome to take that here. But mostly we just want to focus on the left shoulder and the left side of the neck. So we're just working with one arm here behind the back. The head continues to drop to the side. Good, release the arm that's behind your back, bring the head back up on top of the spine, and then right over to the other side, graceful bow, stretching into the right side of the neck this time. Choosing what you'd like to do with your arms, play around with your angles. And find what feels good. Noticing and feeling where your breath wants to go here. And now staying here and shifting the arm position of your right arm. You can take that right hand to the back now and inch it up the back. You decide how far this hand is going to go based on what the sensation is here in the front of the right shoulder. Maybe some additional stretch happens in the front of your arm or the front of your chest as well. And you can think about kind of making a little back bend over that hand that's at your middle back, bringing the skull back in space. And keep the breath flowing freely, easily. And let yourself just soften into this shape. The weight of the head is hanging. The neck doesn't need to do anything. Just gravity. Very good. Slowly releasing. Come upright and take it into puppy pose. Both hands in front of you from a hands and knees position. And lower your chest toward the earth. Feeling the stretch in your armpits, feeling the stretch in your chest. Your knees can be hips width or wider. You decide what feels good. And your hips could be directly over your knees, but maybe they're a little bit farther back. Decide what feels right. Some people like to have a block under the forehead here, which might give a little bit of extra oomph to your neck stretch. Feeling the stretch in the sides of the ribs, the armpits. And the upper spine. And now moving it into the triceps puppy stretch. Staying here, but just bending the elbows, placing the palms together behind the head, or just letting the hands rest. And a variation on this that you might enjoy with blocks is making enough space for your head to come down in between, elbows on the two blocks like so, and sinking down. So if you're really open in the shoulders, you might really like this variation. Some people's chest comes to the ground here, mine does not. But if yours does, then loving that range of motion. But a big part of my yin journey has been about my shoulders and just really accepting and loving my body for where it's at. My shoulders don't go very far in this direction, and that's okay. That's what yin is about, just accepting and loving ourselves and even thriving in the bodies that we have. Not going for perfection, but just celebrating our uniqueness. Slowly releasing and transitioning into child's pose to feel and integrate the effects of that puppy pose. Feel free to take the arms down along sides of your body if you want to give your shoulders a different direction to hang out in. up. Stay in child's, but just lift your chest a bit. And take both hands over to the right side, left hand on top of the right, so that you're stretching into the left side of your torso, especially the side of the ribs and the side of the armpit on the left side. You might have a feeling like you're just ever so gently pulling back with your left hip, pulling away from the direction of the stretch. Your head might rest on the ground or it might stay up. You can decide. And now taking it over to the other side for the child's pose lateral stretch. Breathing into the right side of the torso and armpit, right side of the ribs. And now slowly coming up, releasing to the center and coming up to hands and knees and into rolling panda. Thread your left arm under your right, starting with this first phase of the pose where we keep both knees on the ground. Take the right arm up above the head, press your palm down, and lengthen the space of the neck that's near the floor. So between your left ear and your left shoulder, make some space. Get the shoulder down toward the body. Lengthen the head up away from the shoulder. And enjoy here. You could play around with what this right arm is doing. Maybe the elbow bends and the fingertips are on the ground. Or maybe the arm's more straight. I like to widen my knees here. A little wider than hips width, but you can decide what feels right for you. And now taking this right foot out to the side like it kickstands. This is our second phase of rolling panda. Tuck your head farther under, thinking about getting this stretch more into the back of the neck. And so if you're pressing your right toes into the ground, it's like you're almost going to roll over, but not actually rolling. And this way we can get an exquisite stretch in the back of the neck, upper back on the left side. And maybe this arm that's above the head wants to do something else, like reach up and back or wrap behind the back. And now slowly unwind. Come back to the center, back to hands and knees. And slide the right arm under the left for rolling panda on the other side. Lengthening the right side of the neck against the ground. Now moving into phase 2 with the kickstand of the left leg coming out to the side. Tuck the head under even more. And imagine you're going to start rolling over by pressing into the left toes. And feeling free to do something different with the left arm up above the head or behind the back. Feeling the target area here being the right upper back, so the trapezius. If you like snail pose, you can kind of think of this as a asymmetrical snail pose or an asymmetrical plow pose. It's a little bit gentler on the neck because snail or plow is not for everybody's neck, right? All right, let's slowly bring it back around, back to hands and knees and into child's pose. Rest here. Slowly releasing and coming all the way forward onto your belly for the open wing, where we take the right arm out to the side and open into the front of the chest. And you'll take your left hand maybe behind the back, or maybe you'll keep the hand on the floor in front of your chest. So we're stretching into the pectorals, into the front of the right shoulder. Some people like to bend this elbow like a cactus. If that feels good to you, please go for it. Some people like to have the palm up. Others prefer to have it down. And also the angle of the arm could be more down or more up. So experiment with the angles of this. Find what feels good. And then also your legs, you can keep them bent or straight. Or you could bend this left knee up and place the left foot flat on the ground. Or you might want to bend both knees up. So those choices of bending the knees up are going to intensify the stretch. For me, I tend to like this sort of split leg thing where the top leg is back and the bottom leg is forward. You might also choose to have a cushion or a block under your head. All right, very slowly release and take it over to the second side. And now slowly come back around onto your belly and into child's pose. Feeling the rebound, feeling the effects of this work on the shoulders. Notice the energy in the shoulders. And now coming up to take a half butterfly pose. So with your left leg forward, your right leg will bend and we'll come into a forward bend over the left leg. Now, this being an upper body practice, this is certainly going to stretch your leg, the back of your left leg, but we're focusing on the upper body by bringing this right arm across to the outside of the shin, the calf, or the ankle, or maybe you're going to reach your foot comfortably. This left hand can come somewhere out to the side. And as we take this arm position, we get a nice stretch in the side body and the armpit. While also stretching the back of the legs. So plenty going on here, right? And you're free to sit on a cushion or two if that helps you to be comfortable here.
seconds remaining.
Now slowly releasing and changing sides, right leg forward, left leg in, taking it into left arm crossing over the outside of the right ankle or calf or foot. Right arm out to the side. And slowly releasing and come down onto your back, resting on the back. Any comfortable position to feel the effects of half butterfly pose, to feel the energy in your upper body now. Sides of the body, the chest, the upper back, the shoulders and the neck. Bend your knees and hug them in. And lift your head up towards your knees, squeezing into a ball. So your head rests back down. And twisting. Left arm out to the left. Variation of the twist, if you like to cross the left knee over the right, go for it. And now taking it into this yin-like moving pose, so a little bit yin, a little bit not yin, as the arm comes up over the head. So tracing the shape of a rainbow above the head as you come all the way over onto your right side and roll onto your forehead as your left elbow sort of comes in toward your belly. Now do the same thing in reverse. Left arm traces the shape of a rainbow up and out to the side, all the way out to the side, and the head is just kind of following what the hand does. So we'll do it again. I call this rainbow twist. Arm comes up over the head, elbow in toward the belly, roll onto your forehead, and very slowly tracing back and opening out to the left. And one more time. All the way up and back, slowly bringing it back out to the left. And resting here. And release to bring the knees back up to the center. And twisting over to the second side. Both knees come over to the left, right arm out to the right side. There's always some shifting involved in getting into a twist, kind of shimmying your hips around usually, just to get things into a place where it all feels balanced. And you know, in my early yoga days, it was teachers attempted to hammer it into me that the right shoulder has to be on the ground, otherwise you're a bad person who's gonna go to bad places when you die. And I had to learn through my studies of skeletal variation that some people's spines just don't twist very much, including mine, and that's why your shoulder might not easily rest on the ground. And guess what? It's not a big deal if it doesn't. As long as you're still feeling a twist, the point is to feel a twist. So let's come into this rainbow twist, now with the right arm beginning to come up to trace the shape of our beautiful, colorful rainbow above the head, and then all the way over onto this side. Roll onto your forehead, round your upper back, bring your elbow in, and then reversing right fingertips along the ground, up and out to the right again. Gaze follows the hand. Even if your eyes are closed, your face follows the hand. Arm comes back up over the head, slowly tracing the shape. Forehead rolls toward the earth, rounding. And nice and slow, out to the side again. And one more time. And in reverse. Back out to the side, holding your twist now, breathing here. And coming back up to the center and resting here in some fashion. Knees could stay bent, legs could extend, and feeling the effects of that wonderful, luscious twist, especially on the shoulders after the rainbow movement, rainbow twisting arms. And bending the knees, hugging them in. Again, lifting up the forehead toward the knees. And making your way up to seated, just so that you can set up your blocks for supported fish. Taking the first block that's going to be under your middle back to the middle height, and then the other one to the high height. That's going to be under your head as you rest back. Sitting with the soles of the feet together and coming back over these blocks so that the first block finds its way to the back of your heart. And we do want to make sure this block is not too far down, that it's not in the lower back, but it's more in the middle upper back, behind the heart, at the back of the ribs. The other one comes to the base of the skull, the arms come out to the sides. And if you would rather do something different with your legs, please feel free. It doesn't really matter what the legs are doing, because this is about the upper body. Now, if you get here and you find that it's too intense, then you'll come up and you'll take each of these blocks down one notch and try it that way. If you find that it's not intense enough, that you want to feel more here, then take this block under your head down a notch, or even another notch, or take it away altogether. And we have a nice long time to rest here. So enjoy this opening of the chest. And if you find that the corners of your block are too hard and uncomfortable, it might be worth it to come up and take a blanket or something soft to put on top of your blocks before you rest back on them. And take a big breath in, into the chest, into the belly. Open your mouth to exhale. And do this again. And again, one more time. Softening into this position, supported fish pose. Opening up the thoracic spine, the middle spine, which is connected to the ribs. So also opening into the ribs, the front of the rib cage, the front of the neck. And now let the arms come up over the head if it feels good. You can add a little bit of weight to the upper body stretch here. And hold opposite elbows if it feels good, or interlace your fingers and press the palms away. And now release the arms and slowly bring them back down to your sides. And slowly come up off of your blocks. You can push straight up or roll to the side. Make your way into final relaxation on your back. Find a comfortable place to rest. Find a comfortable position to rest in. You might choose to spread your limbs nice and wide here, taking up as much space as you feel like you deserve in this moment. congratulating yourself for getting to the end of this practice, for taking care of yourself, for creating all of this space in the upper body, the heart open, shoulders and chest, upper back and neck. Feel the energy buzzing, tingling, whatever it is doing, maybe warmth or coolness. Tuning in, tuning inward, attuning to your inner world. And now you can stay where you are or slowly transitioning to an upright sitting position with me. Closing the eyes and taking a few deep breaths. Breathing into this open and spacious upper body. Breathing into this open and spacious heart. Place the palms together in front of the heart and bring the thumbs to the forehead. Lift the chin, tip the head back, inhale. And exhaling and bowing. And that's our practice. Thank you for joining me. I hope that this helped you to find some ease and grace, and that it comes with you for the rest of your day. Thanks for joining me, and I will see you next time. I hope you enjoyed this practice as much as I did, and if you'd like to go deeper with me, check out my subscription website. There's a link down below in the description, and there's also a special offer in the first comment down below. And while you're down there, leave a comment. Let me know how this practice went for you. How do you feel afterward? I would love to hear from you and any questions that you have. If you liked the video, please hit the thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and check out my other yoga videos. Thank you so much for joining me. I will see you next time.